So here we go. Okay, so the first card you have your past is the Ten of Pentacles. Right, so I'm getting this, before I say anything about this whole reading, just looking at the Ten of Pentacles and looking at other things here as well, just looking at everything here, I'm getting this very, very strong feeling. And it's in the Ten of Pentacles, but it's in everything as well. Because if you look at the Ten of Pentacles, this is how I'm feeling. I just want to show you this. It feels like, firstly, I'm getting lots of emotions here. So very, very, excuse me, just my throat. So firstly, very strong emotions in this whole thing. A very, very emotional situation. That's what I'm getting. And the other thing is, sorry, I keep swallowing, it's my sore throat. The other thing is, it's very intense and it's quite confusing, open-ended, all of that kind of thing. Because I'm just looking at the Ten of Pentacles and I'm just looking at the coins and they're like bubbles kind of flying all around and you can't quite catch them or rein them in, a bit like herding cats. I think this reading might be a little bit like that. No real conclusion, maybe. It might be a bit open-ended. And it's unusual because with a lot of these readings I'm getting this week, the messages are all really, really clear, very straightforward, mostly. And I'm not getting that here. So I just wanted to be totally honest with you that that's how I'm feeling here. That's what I'm getting here. It might not come to a nice, neat conclusion for you. It might be a little bit all over the place. There's a lot of emotion here as well. So I just wanted to tell you that before I started. Okay, so now with the Ten of Pentacles, what I'm getting here as well is all these bubbles flying around all over the place. So that kind of adds to the confusion here. But there's a lack of communication, and it feels like this is someone who's not around you now, but you had a lack of communication with someone. Now, you might still have that same lack of communication with them, even though they're not there. Because what I'm getting is this is really, really strange. I'm not actually seeing a proper breakup. I'm seeing a separation. I'm seeing that you're not with whoever this is. I don't know why that is, but it's not a proper breakup or a final breakup. Now, maybe that's because you're backwards and forwards with each other. It might be because you've broken up and you're going to get back together. Because it's not final. It's like a break or a separation, or maybe you're not communicating, but it's not final. I'm seeing that really, really, really clearly. But yeah, there is a lack of communication. And because if you look at this couple on this card, there's a watchtower that's right in between them. So it's almost like it's a block in between them. So that's what went on at one time. Now, yeah, so if this is you, again, I'm seeing this really clearly. I have to keep repeating myself. I'm sorry, I just feel as if I have to keep saying this. It's a separation, but it's not forever. This is what I am seeing. This is what I'm saying. I knew this was going to be quite crazy, but anyway, I'm just going to keep going. If the messages need to come out, they do. So I think someone made a decision. I think there was a lack of communication. There was a lot of confusion about what they were telling you, if this is you. And it looks like someone made some decisions, a love connection you were with. They made some decisions and you were really confused about all these decisions. It was very, very confusing. And I think in the end, it just happened. This separation happened. I don't know why. And you couldn't do anything about that separation. You're very stressed. You're very confused. But you just had to do this and you had to be apart for some reason. And I think you're apart now. That's kind of what I'm getting. And, you know, I think like you always do as a Virgo, you just got on with it. You just got on with things. You just decided to work. That's what you do. It's like, you know, I think you just thought something like, I can't let this stop me. I can't let this break me down. I just have to keep going. I've got people to support, people to protect. They're looking up to me. I've just got to do what I've got to do. And, you know, this card can be about protection as well, with this archway, protecting the family. So it might be that you've got a family and you couldn't let this separation stop you from doing your duty, doing what you had to do and taking care of your family. Now, again, I can't quite see why this happened, why there's a separation here, how many times you're getting back together, or whatever. It's very confusing. All I can see is there was a decision someone made, there was a lack of communication, there was a problem, now there's a separation, and it's not forever. I'm seeing that very, very clearly. Now, I don't want to blame anyone, because a lot of this is very unclear, because I don't know exactly who said what to who or what. What I can say is you were left with a lot of burdens, a lot of good things too you were left with, but there was a lot on your shoulders. And yeah, I'm just looking at this old man, and I think you had kind of the weariness of an old man and the responsibility of an old man with a big family. Even though you're a lot younger than this old man, you felt like that. You're like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so weary, I have to do everything by myself. So yeah, you were by yourself with this. That's what I'm seeing there. So, but like any Virgo, you just kept getting on with things, and I think that's what you've done. So the next card you've got for your past is the Four of Pentacles. And okay, so I think if that's you, if that resonates with you, I think when they made this decision, whatever that decision was, I think part of you could see a little bit of why they might do this or make this decision, but I think the overwhelming big part of you, especially emotionally, just didn't understand it, didn't understand why they were doing this. You didn't understand why they decided to do whatever they were doing, and you didn't understand why the separation had to happen. That's what I'm getting. It's like, I just don't understand this. I'm just all emotional. I really, really don't understand this. Lots of struggles, lots of emotional struggles around that. And with this, and okay, I'll talk about this in the Eight of Pentacles as well. It looks like you just got on with things. It's like, right, I'm just going to focus on what I can control. I can't control this. I can't control this person's decisions or what they're doing. I'm going to focus on my work, on my responsibilities. And, it's not easy for you. It's not easy for you. I'm really feeling this, especially with what's going on right now. Because, everyone's day-to-day lives are a lot more difficult. I don't know how it is where you are, but where I am, it's a struggle to even get the basic things sometimes. There are queues, everything takes longer. And, I'm not sitting here going, oh, poor me, everyone feels sorry for me. I'm not doing that. But just the day-to-day things, when you've got someone around you and you can say, oh, can you just do that while I do this? Can you go out and get this while I do that chore or job or whatever? It's just a lot easier when you've got someone around you, not a lazy person, obviously. But, it's like your life suddenly went from normal difficulty, normal struggle, to double struggle. That's what I'm seeing. Very, very, very difficult. And all you could do was just keep going. And I think that's what you're still doing. So, yeah, it looks like you're still just getting on with things. And, okay, if you've got no one around you telling you you're doing a good job, I'll tell you, you're doing a good job. You're doing a really good job. You're by yourself. You're doing your work, everything you're supposed to do. I'm seeing there might be family as well. You might have a family you're taking care of, or children even, because, there's this beautiful family in the Ten of Pentacles. So there's that as well. All these things you're doing, you're just keeping the wheels turning. You're keeping all the pentacles turning. So, yeah, well done. Very, very hard if that resonates with you. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Knight of Pentacles. Again, this is a workhorse, the workhorse. This is all focusing on work, and that's where your focus is. And I think, it still feels a little bit undecided. And it feels like what's happening is you're putting everything into your work, and it's like, no, I'm not going to think about this person right now. I'm just going to think about work, because if I start to think about them, if I start to think about missing them, everything that's happened, I'll just break down. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to keep working. So that's what I'm kind of getting now. I'm just looking down at the Two of Pentacles. Okay, I hope this makes sense. This relationship situation that you're in, it's not as clean cut as, they were here and we were happy, now they've gone, I'm sad and I miss them. Yes, you do miss them, I can see that here, you do. But it wasn't like that. There were problems when they were with you. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect relationship. And if this resonates with you, I think with this time you're having apart, once you've gotten through that time of just kind of burying yourself in your work and all that, and with your head down, I think you'll come out of that, and I think you'll start to look back on a few of these problems, and you'll start to analyse them a little bit more, analyse everything, the good and the bad, everything in your relationship, and then you'll just work through them on your own, and you'll start to come to some kind of conclusion or decision about this relationship. And that's a really good thing, because you'll be making that decision by yourself. You won't have this person around you. You'll be like, okay, I've got this free time, spare time by myself. I can make that decision by myself. And I think that's what you're eventually going to do. And I'm just going to go on to the moon card, because it's following on from this. Because, yeah, problems. You had some problems in this relationship. I think they had a lot of problems. Now, I'm not saying this to be negative or to make you feel bad or anything. I'm really not trying to do that. But if I see something, I have to say. So I think some of the problems they had, and I'm seeing personal problems, might even be mental health problems. It might not be that extreme, but it's a possibility with this moon card. Now, you might have not brushed it under the carpet, but you might have said, oh no, the relationship's fine. So I think they had a lot more serious problems that you admitted to yourself sometimes. So that's what I'm seeing. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying that to make you realise, if this is you, that when you have this time to yourself, all of that's going to come out, and you're really going to be able to see that properly. Because on this card, on the moon card, you've got these two watchtowers. And obviously watchtowers are all about looking back over things, realising things. And yeah, it's really interesting, because there's that big watchtower in the Ten of Pentacles between the couple, and that's what you're going to think about. You're going to think about, what was the block between us? Why was there this communication problem? So you've got all that to think about. Interesting parallels between those two cards. And, at the moment, I think when you look back, you'll realise there were all these problems, and you'll see everything very clearly for what it is. But right now you can't see that, because this is the moon card. This is moonlight. So you can see some things. I think you've recognised some problems, but not all of them, because it's not the sun card. You're not in sunlight yet. But as you go through this process, and you have to do this by yourself, it's not easy, I know, you'll realise a lot more things. And then you'll be able to make a decision when all these things come up to the surface, and you can analyse them all properly. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the last card you have your presence, the Two of Pentacles. I haven't even talked about how many pentacles are all over this reading. I just kept on seeing this relationship. And the reason why I keep on talking about this relationship is it keeps on coming up over and over again. Someone needs to hear that message about that. But with all these coins, it might be that you're worried about money with this Two of Pentacles. He's juggling, he's kind of holding it together. And everyone feels a bit like that right now. I do myself. I'm trying to hold things together. Everyone is. But I think if you're feeling like that, you might be in an industry that's a little bit precarious financially. I'm seeing that as well. Maybe things feel quite uncertain to you. But you've got all these pentacles all over this reading. I know I'm repeating myself. But what that's showing you is, whatever situation you're going to be in, you're going to be able to bounce back financially. You really, really, really are. And I'm getting bounce back because I'm just looking at this infinity symbol that's holding these coins together. And it looks a bit like a rubber band. And so I'm getting bounce back. So you're going to be able to bounce back no matter what happens to you. And again, you're a very, very hard worker. You just get on with it. You're very resilient. I can see that in this reading, and that's going to work in your favour as well. So it really, really, really is. Okay, so there's something else here I'm getting as well. There's a little bit of a frustrating, I don't know if it's a conversation. It feels like it's something, maybe you've been calling someone and they haven't gotten back to you, or there's email communication going backwards and forwards. It feels quite frustrating, actually. There might be something you're trying to organise, and I think whoever you're dealing with, the company or the person, they're a little bit hopeless, actually. The message here is don't give up. don't give up on that. It feels like you've already spent a lot of time trying to sort this out or whatever this is. And it feels like you're in this process and you're almost at the end of this process. And you've got just a little bit of a way to go and then you'll get to the end. And you probably can't see where you are in the process. But what I'm seeing here is you're almost at the end of this. So don't give up, don't walk away. I know it's very, very frustrating. Just hang in there. Keep on dealing with whoever this is. Keep going, chase them up. I know they probably don't get back to you. They probably don't call you. I'm getting that frustration. Keep on chasing them because you're almost at the end. That's what I'm getting. You're going to get there with this if that's you. So I hope that makes sense to someone. Okay, so the first card you have your future is the Queen of Cups. So yeah, just looking down at all these cards, if that was all resonating with you about this relationship, I'd love to be able to give you a really clean-cut, obvious outcome, but I can't see that right now, and I have to be honest with you. I'm not going to pretend I can. I can't see a clear outcome here because it's very confusing. It's a separation, but it hasn't come to the end of the relationship. I can see that very clearly. That's one thing I can say. And really that's coming back to, I was seeing this right at the beginning with the Ten of Pentacles, lots of bubbles all over the place. And you can't really, you can't get a handle on them. They're all flying everywhere. So that's kind of what I'm getting here as well. And I just want to say something else as well. I know this has turned into a really specific reading. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the messages just have to get out to a particular person or a group. So that's what's happening here as well. So I just wanted to clear that up because I'm feeling quite, I don't know, funny about this reading as I'm going through it. Very, very specific. Okay, so with the Queen of Cups, I think you're probably just going to be feeling a little bit like, I just want to be by myself. I just want to think about this relationship and all these problems and all of that by myself. I don't want anyone around me, no interference. And I think you do have some very caring people around you. I'm seeing family, friends, people that really care about you. But it feels like maybe you're not quite ready to talk about this relationship yet. And the reason why that is, if that's how you're feeling, if you're like, well, they're not around me, there's a separation, it feels like a breakup, but I'm not ready to talk about them yet. I don't want to talk about this yet. And that's because it's not at the end, if that's how you're feeling. Because if it was at the end, you'd be happy to talk to people. Because, when you get close family, friends, people like that, and they want to talk about your relationship, if it is over, they'll come and say things like, oh, they're a terrible person, they did that, oh, you're better than them, you can get over this, oh, you're better off without them, all that kind of thing. And it feels like you're not ready to hear that at this point in time. And that means it's not quite over yet. That means there's going to be more conversation between you. So there definitely is. And so I think again and again, it's similar to what I was seeing in the Moon card as well. Sorting it out by yourself, just being by yourself, working through this by yourself, and coming to the conclusions by yourself, then making the decisions by yourself. So I'm getting that as well. And you just need to process these things, and you do need to be by yourself to do that if that's you. So I'm going to talk about the last two cards now. So you might already be back in contact with this person, or it might be that you've always been in contact with this person even though you're separated, or it might not be. I am seeing some kind of contact here, so if you're not in contact with them now, you are going to be. I'm seeing that very, very clearly. Now, if this is you, I know this is probably going against what you feel like doing, especially if you're really missing them. Of course, you can do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. But this is the message I'm getting, so I have to tell you what this says. Now, if you're still talking to them, or if you're going to talk to them in the future, and I'm seeing that you probably are, try and keep the conversations as simple as you can. What I mean by that is, there's a risk of you both getting into conversations where things just kind of go round and round and round, and then nothing's really resolved. It's kind of like, oh, you said that, well, I said that, well, you said that, well, that's not fair, well, I'll get one up on you, oh, I'm really upset, how could you say that? And it just kind of goes on and on and on. and nothing's resolved, like a big mess. You know, like this card, like the Five of Wands. There's no end to this. There's no beginning, there's no ending, there's no leader, there's no conclusion. So you want to try and avoid that. And you want to avoid that trap of, oh, I'm so upset, and kind of going backwards and forwards. If that's how you start to feel when you have a conversation with this person, try and stop things there before they go too far. When you're feeling they're getting into that kind of unresolved messiness, stop it then and there. Because whether you end up with them in the end or not, you don't want your memories to be of argument, stress, messiness, and all of that. You know, you don't want that to be your last memory or theirs. You want it to be of someone who's sensible, who can talk properly. And yeah, I can see you having quite a few conversations actually. And of course, you know, if you need to talk about issues, of course you have to talk about them. I'm not saying don't talk about them. But see if you can come to some kind of conclusion. And if you can't do that, just try and leave things for a while until, you know, you can, or until things have cooled down. Because if you look at this man on the Eight of Cups, I'll just put that up so you can see. So he looks like he's going around. He's kind of going up to that hill there, and it looks like he's going to go around and around and around the hill. That's kind of what I'm seeing when I look at that. So you don't want that. You don't want that going around and around and around. And obviously there's lots of heavy emotion in this card with these cups everywhere. So you don't want this, oh, I'm so emotional, let's just go round and round and round the rock a few times and we won't get anywhere. And we'll just get more and more upset. And like a tennis match, we'll just go backwards and forwards. You don't want to get into that kind of thing. And yeah, I know the basic meaning of this is, you know, walking away, coming to the end of something. But again, I'm not seeing that right now. It might happen eventually, but a lot has to happen between now and whatever the conclusion is. So lots of talks, lots of variables, lots of things can happen between now and then. Lots of conversations. I'm seeing lots of conversations to come actually. And I think everything really for this relationship depends on what happens in those conversations, but they're 100% coming. They're definitely coming.